Well, hello, Cornerstone Church online community. I'm glad you could join me today for a quick update and a word of encouragement. I was in a meeting online, a Zoom meeting online with other pastors from our district, and I was struck by a word that one of the pastors shared about the irony of Lent this year. Many of you know Lent is supposed to be a time of dialing things back in order to focus more intently on God and our spiritual journey. Toward that vein, do you remember now what you promised to give up for Lent? Maybe some of you promised to give up chocolate, or maybe it was coffee, or maybe soda, or maybe exercise. No, I'm just kidding. You're supposed to exercise more. Whatever you decided to give up, do you remember what it was now? Would you say that you've dialed things back a bit for Lent this year? I think most of us would say yes, drastically. Obviously not by choice, but by circumstances. I was reading an article online, and I appreciated this quote. It said, "In a way, it's been the reorientation that Lent's supposed to be. We become a little more patient, a little more kind, a little more human." Well, Lent culminates this week in this, our Holy Week. Today we celebrate Holy Wednesday and remember Judas' betrayal of Jesus. And tomorrow we commemorate Maundy Thursday, when Jesus shared his Last Supper with the disciples, when he predicted his betrayal by one of them, and then following the denial of Peter. And then, of course, on Friday, we celebrate Good Friday, the day we remember Jesus' crucifixion and the burial, and Jesus' incredible completion of his task on earth, declaring it is finished. Well, we certainly have had to dial things back like never before. But in dialing back, we have a great opportunity to grow in our relationship with Jesus, even more deeply than ever before. This Sunday, we celebrate Easter. This Sunday, we'll still be sheltering in place. This Sunday, we'll still be learning how to navigate with unfamiliar routines. This Sunday, we'll still have more questions than answers. But this Sunday, we will celebrate together in the middle of all this that Jesus is alive. And because he lives, we have hope. Check out that palm tree behind me. Let me see if I can do it. Nope, it's on this side. It's hard in the mirror image here. So that palm tree right there, I want to tell you a story about that palm tree right there. A long time ago, I was looking on Craigslist, and I found an ad for a palm tree in Natomas. And so me and a young man that was living at our home at that time, Kyle, we went out there to dig up this little palm tree, this 2-foot palm tree, and bring it back. And so we made our way over there, and the lady that was offering this palm tree said, "I made the ground soft for you last night by watering the tree all night long." And so sure enough, the ground was really, really soft. But what happens, and some of you are laughing because you already know, what happens is that as you water those trees, the roots become engorged with the water and they become extremely heavy. We dug for hours and were finally unable to unearth the palm tree, this 2-foot palm tree, but we couldn't lift it. There was no way we were going to move it from in front of this lady's house into the truck. And so the next day we came back, the two of us, plus 6 of our friends, my sons and their buddies, and we came back, and these were football players and wrestlers. We came back, and we could barely lift that thing. We finally got it out of the ground. We got it onto a wheelbarrow or a flat cart, and then began to wheel it towards the truck. And then it took everything we had to lift it up into the bed of the truck. We finally got it up in there, drove home, got it out of the truck, and left it in the backyard. It sat in the backyard unplanted for about a week. The roots had dried up. The branches had begun to shrivel. But we finally got it in the ground. And I got it in the ground, and a couple of weeks went by, and it just continued to look dead. It looked like there was no hope in sight. The branches were dry. Many of them had fallen off. And I thought, man, that's a shame. I just killed a tree. Well, I was talking with a buddy of mine, Lon. And Lon said, you know, Jerry, he said, those things do that. He said, give it some time. Continue to water it. Do what you know to do. And give it a little bit of time. And so I did. I listened to his direction, and I just gave it some time and continued to do the things I knew to do. And you know what happened? It began to change. All of a sudden, the dead branches continued to fall off, but new branches began to spring up. And the dry brown was replaced with green life. And it continued to grow. Well, as you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but it is now the tallest tree in my backyard here, and continues to grow. You see, what I thought was dead was alive. There was hope. I just needed to continue to do the things that I knew to do. Like that palm tree and its journey, things may look rough right now. It might seem like there's not a good future in sight, or at least you can't see what the future looks like. But I want you to be encouraged today. God is not done. Jeremiah 29:11 puts it this way, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." That's a good word. Amen. Well, this Sunday, Easter Sunday, we invite you to celebrate with us the hope of Christ. This Sunday, Easter Sunday, we're going to have services in the morning rather than in the evening. You know, we've been doing services on Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. We're going to do Sunday Easter, Sunday morning at 10:30 on our Facebook Live feed. So get that information, that word out to your family and friends that might want to check in and worship together with us this Easter. We're just going to celebrate the hope of Christ this Sunday morning. Join us Sunday morning, 10:30 on Facebook Live. Bless you and have a great Holy Week.